YouTube. Okay, it picked it up. Cool. All right. Well, YouTube pick up my stream? Yep, it picked it up. Cool. We in there.
All right.
Correct. Yeah, let's assume I do. YouTube's public. We're live on
Boom.
Twitch. Yeah, we're there.
Boom. All right.
Yep, audio's good. Yep, there we go. I got all my stuff running. I gotta pop out this YouTube thing. The chat over here.
Let the people come on in.
Yep. I took off tomorrow. I'm gonna try to go fishing in the morning.
That must be nice.
Yo, I'm hoping it's nice. The last time out, it was not. So
No, it's been frozen. I was out. I tried to go out Sunday, just walk the bank, and I got 4 spots that are within like a 10-minute drive, and
it was bad.
iced over. Absolute, just straight. I should have brought my hockey gear, not my fishing gear.
Hey, what's up, D Money? Yeah, it's a lot of the small ponds. I actually thought I think I went out this last Saturday, and I thought most of my spots were because it's a 35-45 minute drive, and I passed like 4 lakes, all like little small community lakes. 3 of the community lakes all frozen. I get to like our air quote bigger lake, which is Wheeler, and left side shallow, completely frozen with an ice block coming out into
Damn.
main lake. But main lake, good. So I was like, all right, I
Right.
might got hope. So then I go to my spot, and then same thing, left side of it, which is shallow, completely frozen. But the sun is like just coming up, and then the
Yeah.
right side, good, crystal clear water. But yeah, those fish were in 28 feet. So I was like, yeah, I don't feel like catching y'all.
Dang.
They
Okay.
found the actual river bend on the biggest main point on there, and they all stuck down to the bottom. It was 7 feet, so from 28 feet to 27 feet in a ditch, all the fish in the lake.
Oh my
it,
gosh. They had them on
yeah,
layaway back there. Okay.
yeah, it was rough. And then any of the fish that I found like around on mainly flats or like any kind of like declines, they were just stuck to the bottom. They looked like rocks moving, just skimmer on the bottom. And just they were nothing was doing anything.
No, I got a refund on my fishing license for the next couple months easily.
Yeah,
Straight
yeah.
up done it.
I also agree, but then one of the professional MLF Open fishermen went out to Jordan Lake this past weekend and pulled out like 2 7-pounders. So it's like, okay, well,
Paid actors.
there's no way.
Paid
There's no way.
actors. They did it for the Vine. They didn't do it for real. I don't believe
Yeah.
any of that.
He was trying to put up some TikTok stuff before he thought it was going to go down.
Contractual obligations.
Contractual obligations. You're not wrong. This man threw out like every new sponsor he got this year too. Yeah, paid actors. You might be onto something, man.
Pro fishing is NASCAR. That's all I'm saying. It has been
Yeah.
for a while, but it's worse than it has been for a while. But don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. A lot of things to worry about. That ain't one of them.
Ricky Bobby style. Oh man. Hey, what's up, Creek Life Lures, aka Peroxidic?
Is that seriously how you pronounce that man's name?
Yo, yeah. I mean, I'm not putting this full government out, but yes.
Well, you made it sound like a venereal disease.
Yo, you did. I did. We're just gonna call him Perox.
It's Pero.
We're just gonna call him Peroxidic.
Pero. That's what's up.
Oxidic.
That's that. Now he sounds like you're reading off the periodic table, messing this man's name up.
PZ. Uppercase P, lowercase Z.
Damn. All right, we gotta. What? I know we're gonna let people trickle in, but what's the agenda? Was there? There was an agenda, but that kind of went to the wayside.
Yeah, that thing gone. Sure. I don't really. I didn't even plan anything. The only thing that was like burning topic on my head was the recent, or no, I'm sorry, myths of fishing that you've called BS on.
For example,
Oh, I mean, just anything. So for one of mine's was when older folks tell you stop talking in the boat or stop talking while you're on the lake, that's not really a you. Those fish don't care about me talking up there.
Oh yeah, no, that was before we had electricity. That's old school.
Another one. Shoot. Well, I see it more in our parks. You like when you're walking on banks, especially if there's like a trail or somebody like if there's like a path where there's a lot of movement. The like people always tell you got to stalk the fish. Now, if it depends on the areas that you're at, things like that. But I don't know. That was one of the things that burned in my mind. Deep water fishing. When people said that all the fish are on the bank. Now we're at that point where we know all the fish ain't on the bank.
Well, that's been. I mean, we know that. It's just it's intimidating because that world was not
Yeah, can't see nothing.
accessible.
Can't see nothing out there.
So I mean, nowadays you got to be right. If it's not right in front of you, I mean that's a screen is one thing, but uh, yeah, it's hard to the imagination is a fickle beast when it comes to trying to get some level of like confidence built up. I mean, it's a mind game, right? I mean, it's mental. Competitive wise, I mean, that's a whole different story just because there's more pressures, but just day to day, like somebody out there going to have fun. I mean, that's why like guide services have been so prevalent and essentially
Facts.
sustainable, especially on the big lakes. Because I mean, you're not going to spend the time if you don't got the time, so you're going to pay
Yep.
somebody who
You
spent
gonna
the time
you gonna
that
put some
knows all
money in
those
that?
things.
Definitely throwing money into learning that thing.
By
Steal
all
some
means.
spots, buy some waypoints.
My gosh, I've been trying to sell mine, but nobody wants the waypoints to my local stormwater ponds. So it's like, what the hell?
See, not enough fish brain. Not enough fish brain.
Not enough fish brain. I've seen some stuff on fish brain I can't even talk about on live, but we'll
What was
figure it out.
what was the buddy Austin? What did he make? Fish tips.
Fish
That's the
tips.
where people you can put a price on your waypoints, your knowledge, and stuff like that, and people can go on there like a pretty much just like a I can say like an auction house, like a bazaar of fish tips, and they can just buy waypoints. They can buy like areas and stuff like that to know where fish are during certain seasons based off your description of what you're selling. That was funny. That's a thing.
No, I mean somebody's going to find a way to market all this stuff. Um, when it comes to it's a hustle that really doesn't need to be there. Um, but it's the boom, right? We're coming out of the post-pandemic boom, and a lot of folks. I mean, I mean, we know the kayak market is absolutely ridiculous.
Classic
The
keeps
boat
classicing.
market, no, like it's I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, it'll be very very intriguing. Let's say, especially when ICAST coming up. Oh, did you go to the Raleigh Fishing Expo?
I did not. I did not. That's why there was no stream. I did not. I didn't make it there. I missed Gerald Swindle speaking. I missed who else was there? There was another.
Wasn't Ott there? Ott was there, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Was Ott
yep,
there?
yep. It was Ott Defoe and
Oh,
Jared. Yeah, I missed all of that, dog. Sad life. Big sad life. Big
dang.
sad life. Well, now that we have more people in here, the tundra. How was the weather for you in these last week and a half? With
Horrible. We ain't
this,
built for
yeah,
sub freezing for a few days. Then
the
you get the snow. It shuts everything down. People can't go nowhere. Ain't enough equipment. You're definitely not getting outside. I mean, you can layer up. I've seen dudes on social media just like trolling motoring through all the ice and whatnot. And I actually, when I went out, I've only been out once this year, a
uh,
couple weekends ago, and I'm just sitting there like literally just plowing through freaking icebergs with the vibe, and I'm just like this shit like it's not it's not something that people need to look forward to. But I mean, it does separate a certain level of people. You know what I mean? Like you're not getting the leisure folks out there when it's like that. So it does kind of like you get a lay of the land, and there's no parking issues. It's nice, other than the actual reason that you're there. And fishing around here in January is kind of like a woodpecker in a petrified forest. You know what I mean? You just stay busy and look for opportunities. So that's really all you can do. And I mean, y'all technically a little bit southern, as far as closer to the equator. But I know y'all. Did you get actual snow build up where you're at? Okay, so you
Yeah,
know what I'm talking
yeah,
about.
yeah. We caught about what 3, maybe 4 inches. Nothing crazy. It was not even. It was probably like 2 or 3 inches. But yeah, it was an experience. But I didn't go on the roads. The wife tried to, and then she was like, "Yeah, I'm staying home." And then fishing wise, there was nothing to do. Everything was either iced over or just not accessible. So just watched it and then just played it day by day. Was not a good experience. The dog hated
Yep.
it.
Oh, the
Yeah,
dog hated it.
yeah. She doesn't. She is a princess. She cannot stand any type of precipitation.
Just like me for real. Okay, so that's the thing. So that means how much tackle did you order?
None, because if I was going to get it, it was going to be at the Raleigh Expo, but we didn't. Yeah, so I
Oh,
was like, no, I'm just going to hold out. We're going to wait and see if I can do these taxes early, and then probably get a new battery and just a little bit more tackle for the year, and call it a year. We're
oh,
going we're going with
that's a dangerous game.
Yeah, we're going to go with what we were talking about in the last episode. I already know the things I'm having for this year and what I want to do. I'm not really adding too much. So we're just going to bulk right now, get what we need for the year based off of that. I'm only going to be using 2 colors. I've already decided only 2 colors this year. Yeah, we're going to do MM3 Robo Worm, and the other one's just going to be Green Pumpkin. Yep.
All right, so margarita rutabaga, and
Hmm.
then, but what? I mean, no love for the different hues. No, the black and blue. Nothing. Oh,
MM3 is going to cover that for me. Probably if I do, it's probably going to be specific to a technique. Like for my jigs, I'll probably go with something that has a purplish plum color, but it's just going to be that and green pumpkin. I'm not going to add too much tackle to it because I already got enough tackle. I just got to work on my plastics, and we're going to see what we do this year.
but it's fire crawl season is upon
I
us.
already got some. I'm just not buying any
Oh,
new. Yeah.
so
So
you're
what?
already stocked up.
Yeah,
Okay.
whatever I have, I'm going to be burning. Like that's it. But yeah, adding to this year, I'm not going to be going too heavy on grabbing new stuff.
All right. So not a good time to be looking for sponsors when we're out here saying we're
No,
not buying anything.
no.
All right. Well, that's a good thing. But if you go to carolinabasco.com
Oh no,
right
he's
now,
not. No, that's not a sponsor. I can't do that. It's not sponsoring this, man.
if you put, well, you got the command still.
Yeah, if
Um,
Craig wants me to do it, I can do it. But no, we good.
all
When is
right.
the
So,
Firecross season window? Normally in the South, it's late February, mid to late February. You'll hear a lot of Southern folks talk about the red on the lips thing. That just means their teeth are irritated and they've been chewing on stuff. So I would assume
just like
then.
me.
Yeah. But in all honesty, you can throw red right now. You just have to move it slow. Red technically works technically all year because it mimics the main forage, one of the main forages. T. Let's talk about what you've been cooking up, man. Yeah, you've been showing off some nice tackle you've been making in that in that
Oh my
science
gosh.
garage. That's a
Nah, I
proud
mean,
piece. That's a proud piece, sir. That's a very that
no.
that is clean,
So you get your blacks near the top, you get your reds in the middle, and the oranges on the bottom, right? So
bro.
you get that kind of like you get that transitionary kind of thing. So apparently, and it's I think the most hilarious thing about it, not that anybody would laugh, is the fact that like around here, um, and I'm not like I've gripped up a lot of fish in my life, and I cannot remember at any point ever, not just recently, I'm talking ever, where like sometimes you'll see footage of somebody they catch a fish and there's like a crawfish pincer, like a little claw coming out of their
Yep.
throat because they just got done eating one, or you'll like get it on the boat and the shit will, like the pieces will get regurgitated because they're too busy. They've been shaking the
Shaking.
bacon and now
Mm-hmm.
everything's coming up. Um, I've never seen that. I have no reason to believe that like anywhere I normally go, I know there's some spots that have various things, but like a lot of the places I go to 90% of the time, I have never seen actual direct evidence of crawfish.
Yeah.
But they don't care really because it's not like like, oh, I've never seen that before. I'm not going to eat it. It's just programmed. You know what I
Yo,
mean?
it's instinctively DNA like imprinted. If
It's
that thing
yes,
crawl,
biologic.
it's
Yes,
getting tore up.
it doesn't matter kind of where you're at. So like the window is basically as soon as they start biting it to when they stop. But
Yep,
the thing is, like, you're just like the main time is really like, like late February through March. Here, basically, up and through from March. Once you're in April, it's time to start switching things up. Um, but like, if I get out this weekend, hopefully I will. I'm gonna have, a whole bunch of stuff I've been making with me just to see. But like red crankbaits, all that kind of stuff
yep,
right now, you got to have them. You don't
yep.
you don't have to, but if they're keyed in on it wherever you're at, you're gonna know very quickly,
Really quick. Yep,
and you don't have to worry about changing anything. You just got to worry about retying every so often so you're not hurting. But other than that, um, it's a great thing. We really still don't even know all the specific. I mean, there's a lot of good guesses, but as far as like the color stuff, like dark reds and red specifically, doesn't like as soon as it goes down a certain depth in the water, the light, at
turns
least for our
turns
vision,
black.
like basically
Yeah.
turns it like a solid kind of like dense color. So like
Hmm.
we see red as we're looking at it and tying it on in our hands, but as soon as it hits the water and starts sinking, that's not what they're seeing.
Exactly.
Um,
Black,
so
blue,
it's yeah,
green, all those, they all just when they lose that light penetration, they all turn into a blob of a thing.
it's just a silhouette
Yeah.
basically. So I mean, we can probably talk for hours about the color scheme, but the whole idea is at least um they're looking for it. It's a biological drive. Like if you smell the grill exhaust from Burger King a mile away, you don't have
You
to be
know.
thinking about Burger King. As soon as you smell it, it's like, damn, I'm finna get some BK.
Yeah.
And that's pretty
Facts.
much not, that's what they're like. As soon as they smell like that crawfish or see that red, that's now what they're thinking about pretty much instantly and like overwhelmingly powering. It's interesting. It's that side of nature that doesn't care what we think. You just take advantage of it or you miss out.
Yep. Speaking of nature, when the storm was, or I'm sorry, when the snow storm was coming, did you see anything wild happening in nature with like any of your wildlife?
I mean, there's always squirrels running around back here. And I don't have any pets that I know of, so I didn't have like a lot of direct observation.
Uh-huh.
But I will like we have like a constant flock of like Canadian geese
Okay.
that pretty much just post up 365. So I was driving around some of the parks, and they were a little bit more spread out, and they were eating a lot more, almost like they were getting ready to not have to
Yeah.
eat for a while, which is what I do. And so I didn't see anything too out of the ordinary. Does that mean did you get some observations, some
Yeah.
direct natures? Okay.
Direct natures. Same thing what you were saying with the geese, but our deer, since we had so much development here, right when that temperature went from like 40 into about 35, our deer came out and just started like on our walks now. I was seeing like so many more hoof marks, and I can see the patches of where they're eating, and they started making a lot more trails. And then as we got closer to the snowstorm, literally it they just came out, herded up like about, I think we saw about like 12 of them at one point. Before we see like little patches, maybe three, fours, and then sporadically, but it was like 12 of them all in one just traveling together. So they knew it was coming. So it was really cool. And I said the same. I was talking to one of my friends. I was like, I'm pretty sure those fish are chomping right now. Like the fish had to be going crazy somewhere on whatever lake. They just probably could not stop eating. Like they just had to keep eating.
Either that or they're looking for that ditch.
I I am not a fan. I have to learn it before this cold goes away for good. But they are going to be sitting in ditches, and I hate it.
I mean,
Hate it.
well, so, I mean, that's like, I mean, for traditionally, depending on what part of the country, and of course, Florida's obviously doing Florida things, and then our folks up in Diet Canada are doing their things. I think this time of year, especially for the Mid Atlantic folks, an interesting component. So like northern Georgia up through like southern Pennsylvania and that whole wedge. Um, there's a lot of it's the fluctuations, right? So like today here, it almost hit 70 degrees.
Yep.
Tomorrow it's gonna be in the 40s.
Yep.
So like the fronts, like obviously we pay a lot of attention to fronts and barometric pressure changes and all that kind of stuff. But like this whole time period, historically, and obviously there's fluctuations, but and I know you see it down there, especially with the bigger lakes, and they have like, and they pull in, different events and tournaments and all that kind of stuff. Like these first few like major seasonal shifts as you get into like the Februarys, pretty much until it gets like stupid hot consistently, late May as you get into June. Like things fire on, and when they're on, they're on,
Yeah,
and when
facts.
they're off, like a lot of golf
Every
equipment gets sold. So
yeah,
it's one of those type of deals. Like, so, I mean, there's a lot of, people that have traditions and like, oh, I wait X amount of time, or I'm going to go out during the storm. I don't know if you'd seen that footage. It was on all the social medias where the guy was out. I think it was Texas or whatever, was in a boat, and the tornado done got a hold of, like, literally
yeah. It was
grabbed the
two of
boat
them.
with the
Yeah, yeah,
two dudes and a
and a
dog,
dog.
and
Yep.
they put it straight, grabbed him and threw him straight into some reeds and stuff like that. And there was this thing where like it was this big old thing on social media where everybody's like, "Oh man, these guys are idiots. They're stupid. Why would you do that?" And then you have all the people that fish that are in the comments saying,
So
"Well, the fish bite better
right,
when right before a storm
well,
comes in."
dude,
So I'm
they
sitting there
was
looking
probably
at
on
it, like I know exactly how that dude was thinking before he took the boat off the trailer. But like your
trailer.
average person, like office job person, is gonna look at that and be like, "Man, this person's got a death wish." I'm like, "No, son's trying to catch some PBs." You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
he out there. He out there with a passion and a timing window, because he can get the biggest, smartest fish to look like the dumbest, hungriest fish anytime at that point.
Man, they're out there feral right when on the fronts and stuff.
Yeah,
But see,
well
most people
said.
don't know that, so
Yeah,
they're going to see that and they're going to question it. And there was a clip from the dude that came out there with the guy that owned the boat. He said, "If the boat's going down, I'm going down with you, brother." And I'm like, "Hell yeah!" Like I don't even like smoke, but I was looking for like a lighter right when I heard him say that because I'm thinking that's what I'm talking about. But that's what he's. I mean,
yeah. No,
it is.
that
But I understand it. Like
yeah.
I didn't think. I
We're
mean,
in a
it sucks to
different.
get caught in a tornado, but I mean, you know what I mean. Like if you're gonna get on a good like square bill bite, then bring. I'll bring an extra jacket
But
and my
yeah,
insurance information. Let's get to it.
the life jacket for my legs.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh, it's a
yeah,
thing.
yeah, man. That they went viral real quick, and the I don't know if they were driving into it or driving away from it, but literally as soon as they put on all their stuff and they just start going, I'm like, oh, this is getting bad. This is get
It just kept getting worse. It never
yeah.
stopped getting
No,
worse.
no, it just no.
Shit, yeah.
I'm
Whew.
happy they captured it, but that's spooky. I would definitely be by the bank fishing, or by the launch fishing right when I know that thing about to touch down.
No, I mean, if you got good insurance, sweet. Like we about to get a new boat, but at the same time, it's like you don't want to document. I mean, it's good clicks, right? I mean, you're going to get
Yeah.
people's attention, but I mean, it's not worth the potential, especially with the dog out there, because the dog's like, "Yo, what the hell are we doing?"
That dog already
Um,
felt it before they even got out the truck. I was like,
Man sitting
yeah.
there like shaking his head, looking at the carpet.
Mhm.
No,
These are my humans, and I'll go with them.
no. So that I mean, yeah. So whole kind of like mid Atlantic area, it doesn't take much. Like we'll get some hot heat coming up from the Gulf, or we'll get like a frost driven front coming down from Canada or
North,
wherever.
yeah.
So it's like you really got to surf a lot of the different fronts and try to figure out. I mean, obviously, if you're doing competitions that are stuck on a day, like you have to calculate that. But if you're just
Mhm.
going out to just try to have a little fun, then you gotta, pick the different, opportunities. And this is the part, like these are the last few months before, pleasure boaters, jet skiers, wake boats.
Yeah, once it gets
That's a real
warm,
thing for
yeah,
a lot of people, especially if you're on big water, a big old body of water that's got a name and a boat ramp.
yep.
You really want to get out and use all the stuff you got for the holidays before you got to dodge all the recreation stuff. Um, so, I mean, it's just a very interesting time where there's a lot of factors. I mean, you can overthink it really easy. Obviously, that's what I do. But I mean, when it comes down to it, I mean, you take advantage of what you might end up learning something. It's a good time
Yeah,
of year, especially the beginning part, to really learn some stuff
learn.
and try some new stuff out, get uncomfortable for a little bit. So by the summer, you just run all the shade patterns and just stick to the usual
I
for the
think
rest of the year.
that's a really good point. Like if there's a time for anybody, and I like that. There's a time for anybody to get uncomfortable fishing with new techniques, new baits. It's right now, because you're not going to catch a lot, but you're gonna slowly start to understand how you're supposed to use a bait. I like that, T. That's a good note.
Hell yeah.
All right, let's see. What else do we have planned? I think my idea was not gonna float in the water today. So we gotta pick a new we gotta pick a new topic.
All right. Topic is how to float in the water today. No.
Speaking of,
I
I actually have a class next month at a local kayak shop on winter fishing, and that is going to be part of it. When you
You have a
fall in,
class as in you're teaching it or you're going to
yeah,
be there.
I'll be a part of a class. Yeah, yeah,
So you're an instructor or a student.
I'll be an instructor at that time.
How do you find these opportunities to teach the future generations?
Fall in the water when it's cold.
Oh shit.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the only reason why I'm there. Fell in the water while it was cold. No, no, we're just yeah, no, we because me and another angler were talking about just winter fishing, and just going over experiences, and I was telling them like, I fell in during the January, and it sucked, but I mean, it wasn't that bad as long as you can remember what you're supposed to do. So, that's what it was about. No, it wasn't even January. It was December. It was like 2 weeks before Christmas. Um, yeah, it was December. So yeah, so I'll be doing that. We'll be talking about layering up and what ifs when you if you get wet.
Try yeah. Spoiler alert, try to get unwet.
Yes, big facts. You get hot real fast, get unwet faster.
No, so anybody, especially if you're going out, it doesn't matter. Walking the shore because you could fall in.
Yeah, dude, please.
Kayak, boat, a really, really, really good thing to do right now, if you don't, is have a pack, an extra set of clothes, put it in a sealable bag to protect them. If you're on the water and they fall in, have something like a vacuum sealable, a big old Ziploc bag, something you can seal up. Because if you end up getting some clothes wet, you're gonna really wish you had some that weren't as soon as possible.
Yep.
So that's definitely something to do. I got cyberbullied on one of my YouTube videos. I think it was last year when I went out. It was like February, and it was a warm day, but I had a very interesting individual leave a comment basically saying that I was layered in cotton with no PFD
Oh,
and a garbage kayak. He's like, "You are going to die,"
yep.
and I'm
That
like, "This is
happened.
the worst future like tarot card reading I've ever had in my life." Like, I mean, newsflash, like this, like
Yeah, you didn't have to pay for it either. My man just blatantly
it's
just
like
put
my
it
man's
out
just
there.
dropping it. Just he's talking shit about me, my fashion, my sense of safety, my kayak. It's like, damn, homie, this I don't know. It's like, what am I do? Like, I'm just gonna. All right, cool. I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and just give up um, everything.
What you
Like, I'm
say?
just gonna like.
Yeah,
It's like I'm just walking
yeah.
around, just like floating around in a garbage kayak, like with a death wish. It's like, dog, I'm trying to get like a half-pound fish to bite just to get my fix. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like shit
And
gets a lot worse.
yo, he went past
God.
like the 0 to 100. My man was already on 300 when he made that statement. He had to look at that video. He gave you probably like 3 minutes of that video's time and said, "I'm mad."
I mean, I
Real
need the
quick.
engagement, so I left the shit up. But golly,
But yeah,
man,
he
like
was coming at you. I definitely
it's all
remember
right.
that.
It's all right. I mean, you got to have self esteem to lose it, so that's why we take a pill for that. Anyways, old dude gamer. Yeah, I'm not. I don't put the green. This is. I'm piggybacking off. I'm riding Alex's coattails. Y'all should know this by
Yeah,
now.
this is all just a fuzzy background. Y'all can see what's back there. I got my rod set up for tomorrow. I got the kayak ready. We good.
That's the thing. Um, so let's talk about jerkbait modifications. Homie Julian said jerkbait
Yeah,
modifications.
Julian want to talk about now. That's a Randy thing. I'm joking, but before we even get to that, going back to the winter fishing safety wise, if you're going out and it's cold, let somebody know you're going out and it's cold. Let them know where you're going when you're going out and it's cold. If anything else fails, somebody's going to try to know that you went out when it was cold and you didn't make it back in time so they can actually go look for your body.
Okay. It's not a search and rescue. It's just a
Yeah,
recovery mission. Like,
just a
what,
recovery at
man?
that point. Nah, but no, for real.
Golly.
Make sure you do have some kind of safety plan with a loved one, a friend, or somebody if you go out. Please, please. Like if you're going to go out in the water, have somebody know what you're doing when it's cold. And when I say it's cold, that is 50-degree water temperature and lower. Actually, no, that's 60-degree water temperature and lower. Actually, yeah. Just let them know.
What's the rule? It's the 120 rule. If the air temperature and the water temperature
Temperature
don't add up to be above 120, it's basically like a super increased risk of hypothermia.
hypothermia. Correct.
So you gotta basically, instead of going hypothermia, you get hyperthermia by having too much heat, and then it's like it cancels out. So if you bring my mixtape and you play it while you're out, it's just so much fire.
Oh, too much fire on the boat.
Hey,
Might
okay,
melt the plastic. You gotta chill
it might
out.
melt the plastic, so don't do
Warranty
that.
don't cover that mixtape.
Not at all. It'll avoid it, and you
It,
get a misdemeanor. But it's all right. I ain't worried about it. Don't be worried about it.
you see what's happening in California when you drop that first mixtape. You see what happened. You need to
You
chill
know
out.
what? I told him you gotta have headphones on. My man put it on a Bluetooth out back. That's a problem.
Yeah, yeah. Got toasty out there.
Golly.
Uh, for 40 years I've been jerking with no scope. No scope Randy. I'm listen. What's up, Banana? I see you on both chats. No scope Randy, aka Crowley. You better watch out how you be talking about jerking with no scope on the internet. That's a two-way street.
Don't put that in Google. Let's see what we got here. All right, so you gonna give us the rundown on how the presentation went? Are you gonna record it? Are we gonna have
Yeah,
video evidence?
there's definitely going to be a recording of it. I think that's one of the things he wanted to do. So that'll be out there. I won't stream it, but I'll probably link it and we'll talk about it in one of the podcasts. So
We'll do that. You
it'll be
send it to me, and I can do a overdub in Japanese for you.
konnichiwa.
I don't know what that means, but anyways, no bueno. So we'll do that just to appeal to the international crowd, because
Yeah,
hypothermia doesn't discriminate.
discriminate. No, you're
Uh,
right. Everybody can catch it.
it gets you cold real quick.
I like it. All right, let's run over the Julian.
See,
Julian asking about jerkbait modifications. I got nothing on jerkbait modifications. The only thing I normally run depends on what jerkbait it is and how I'm using it. If I need it to sink slow, I'm upgrading a hook in the front, and then if not, I'm going to probably add an extra split ring and just let it dangle there, just to add some weight on the front of it to sink a little bit slower. For I wouldn't advise Carolina rigging, but Carolina rigging that's another fun jerkbait mod you can probably work on. I would only do that if you know they're sitting on the bottom and you got scope. Those are my only two modifications I could even think of that I normally run.
all right. Yeah, no, the only fish I caught so far this year, jerkbait. Um, it's a must for any predator fish this time of year. I mean, just to have it, obviously, it's not always going to be the ticket, but it's definitely not a bad idea.
Yeah,
Um, so mods, I mean, the technology, nowadays, like, you really don't have to do a lot. I mean, you can drop 25 on Vision 110, and you can pop the box and just run with it. Um, I think I know Berkeley's got a whole bunch that they like. In fact, one of my favorite ones, I got one left, is their cutter suspending model. And they don't even make it anymore, so
nope.
that kind of sucks. I'm gonna be on eBay trying to haggle people down, so that'll be fun. But I guess the point is, like, and old dude brought this up, but like lead dots, so lead tape, and that's an old school. That is a Randy thing. Lead tape, it's got adhesive on it. I think Storm made the suspend dots and the
Mm,
suspend strips. I think that
and
those still
strips and
exist.
dots. Yep.
Another thing you can do is like tennis rackets. You can go to like a tennis store, and they make lead tape that you can put on like a racket head for different type of like weight balancing. And it's the same thing. It's adhesive lead strips. And sometimes you can find them on clearance. So if you're at like a sporting goods store or something like that, you can find the lead tape that people put on rackets, and it does the exact same thing. I use it on some of mine actually.
Nice.
Um, I think one of the things to find out with jerk baits, and it depends on where you're at and what you're going after. The jury's out about like when it's floating, not floating, but when it's suspending or if it's in the water column. The thing is, when it's something to keep in mind, especially cold water. When a jerkbait's still in the water, that's what gets their interest usually, and it's when they jump and like jerk away, like that triggers the bite, right? Because they're like, "No, you ain't getting away."
Right.
So what it's doing when you're not moving it is generally,
More important.
yeah, I mean that's when you find that one model or one color is more successful
Yep.
than others. So the jury's out, and I don't mind if other folks wanted to share it, but like if during a pause, so it doesn't matter necessarily if it's sinking, suspended, or floating, but during the pause when you're not actually pulling it and there's no tension on the
Podcast.
line, is there more value in having it sink? And I got my Berkeley stunner right here. Is it preferable for it to sink ass down? So something like this, or even directly vertical, but something like that. Do you want it level, or do you want it like nose diving? And I found, and I'll open that up to the chat. What do you all think is more appealing as far as ass down, level, nose down? Because that is a pretty, you'll find a lot of expert opinions in the comments on
Yeah,
various videos.
that gets wild on the internet.
So let's get some feedback. What do you all think is the more value? If you had to have one pause orientation for your jerkbaits, which one would you prefer? Because where I'm going with this is essentially, I've never been able to find a unanimous
Yeah.
like decision. Like I've seen them, I've had them hit it all the way. And it could vary from species. It could vary for their primary forage and what they're normally going after. It doesn't seem like I've yet to see a situation where somebody said, I've never gotten a hit with this orientation, but when you switch it up, like, so basically what that means is, you know, you can put like lead tape, or some people will wrap wire
Yep.
around the top of
You
their treble hooks
get the lead
to
wire
just put
wraps.
it that way, or even just putting a heavier gauge hook on the front. So if you've got 3 hooks, if you put a heavier gauge hook or just a bigger hook on the front, now you're going to weigh it down on the front. If you
Yeah.
put one on the back, you're going to weigh it down. It doesn't take much.
Yeah, I was about to say they're super tuned with the hardware that they have to perform out of the box. Normally, most of them are performing either leveled or they're going nose down out of the box. But depending on if they're a floating model, suspending model, and just yeah, that changes a lot. But yeah, what you're spitting right now is fire. Like it definitely changes it.
That's the thing. And I think in oldie saying like nose down, so they have like, yeah, I mean that's the thing. And you even see like, especially like that stunner that I just had, like those are slow sinking, right? Like
Yep.
they don't suspend. It actually, if you just let it chill in cold water,
It
it'll
just
just start going
yes,
down.
sir.
And some, you know, I mistakenly thought, well, that means you could fish it at any depth. Why do we even have deep diving models? Well, that just gets you that first, like when you crank it down that first few times, once it
Yep.
hits the water, it allows you to get to the depth you need to get to quicker. So that's really the difference. Even if you have a slow sinking model, it's not necessarily means that it'll the one that'll work in 5 feet or less is going to be great for 15 feet.
Are you gonna wait for it? You can, but you're gonna have to wait a
I
long
mean, you
time. You
put
gotta
your
have some
rod
slack.
down, you can check your
Yeah,
TikTok real quick, you can send an
yeah,
email and then come back up like, all right, we down there, and then you can keep it going. Because I mean that's the thing. I mean, so as far as modifications are concerned, a lot, if you're spending over $15, and they're easily, some of them are really easily over $50, you shouldn't be doing anything to them.
shouldn't be. I
But
agree.
I'm a sucker for like a good deal. So, you know, if I grab something for $7, $8, like I'll swap some hooks out. Um, if I wanted this to either suspend, if it's a float, not necessarily suspend, but you know, I use a toilet as a test tank. You know what I mean? I'll pop it in there. You just push it down, and obviously, if it comes up, it's floating. If you push it down, good luck getting it back. You know what I
Who
mean?
said I use the toilet?
I'm
T,
serious.
not the toilet. Use the tub.
You know how much water that uses? No, water ain't cheap around here. Point being is,
Fair.
yeah, I mean, just get there, you just put it in there and just check it out. And I mean, you can get I think you know that's I feel like nobody asked, but I think like if you're gonna spend some money, I feel like you would probably be better off spending money on getting different like buoyancy and different diving depths versus different colors. Because I mean, you know, Megabass has like 800 colors.
Yeah.
Man, I'm not convinced that the Super Wagasaki Shad 4 is going to be so much better than the Super Wagasaki Shad 4.5. And then, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's
Yeah.
cool, but it's more of a collector's game at that point than actually, somebody try to be like viable when it comes to strategery and stuff like that.
Yeah, and
Um,
definitely. And when we go down that lane of the color and the version, just like you were saying with the Wakasagi, like those are hand painted. And I think when we go into that realm of super expensive one, it's definitely for collectors because some of those paint jobs are done within a year. So yeah, I, I don't want to take away from are they going to catch different fish because I don't think they are. I think they're all the fish are more interested in the action than they are the color. Um, but yeah, it definitely is a collector's. It's a collector's game at that point.
sure.
Yeah,
Which is driving the price. I mean, it's now like a sneaker head situation. So
yeah,
it's like
man.
now you got jerkbait heads.
Hype
Um,
beasts on
it's
the
fine. I mean,
jerkbait
sure,
drops.
somebody's getting paid. It is what it is, but still, like, and so Julian had even said, like, getting the 110, going nose down. He's doing more inshore than greenfish, and that's fine. I mean, again,
Yeah,
any predator fish like jerkbaits are like those are one of those things like box of chocolate lures. Man, you never know what you're going to get when something
yep.
bites it, which makes it fun, as well, obviously. So I think. People talk about wounded bait fish or wounded forage or whatever. Like, wounded fish, I've seen them in the water. They do all kinds of shit. Like they don't
Yeah,
always lay down. They're hitting side
they
flops
do
and flaps and all that kind
helicopters.
of
Yep,
stuff.
yep,
They're
yep,
out
yep.
there, they're hitting American Sign Language, and there ain't nothing, there's no uniformity. So I mean, it's good marketing to see that tank at the Raleigh Fishing Expo, when G-Man's up there saying check out the action on the jerk bait when you pause it, and that looks cool. But at the same time, what's a fish going to do? Swim up to it and be like, hell no, that ain't
Nah,
that ain't dying the right way. Let me go ahead and haul back here. I mean, it's just I don't know. So one of those things, especially with like the lead tape things, where you can take them off and on pretty easily. I mean, you can put up a couple dots on the nose, like right behind the bill, like if you're trying it for the first time, like pretty much right behind the lip, like right as it meets the plastic or the wood or whatever it's made out of. Put you a couple dots there and let it go down. If you don't get no bites and you know damn well there's fish, take them off. Put them back here, like put them around the middle hook hanger or back here in the back half, and see if you can get it to go like that. It might work. It may not, but you'll find out when you do it.
and I'll say I always assumed that the tail down method was, and I could have got lucky, but it happened twice. The tail down was never going to get bit, but I gave up on retrieve right next to the boat at one of the local ponds, and I literally saw the lip coming out. Sure enough, bass came up, hit it, set the hook, and brought him out. And that happened twice. The other time they hit it right at the boat, but I think it was a white bass, and it just spit it pretty much right after it hit it. But yeah, I think that pause, however it pauses, can also like really turn them off or on. But at that time with the tail up and I was close to surface, they were hot on
Oh
it.
yeah, that's
Or, I'm
the
sorry,
thing. And
head
they'll
up,
do.
tail down.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they got any like direct water injection ones. Usually, it seems like that's. I mean, nowadays if you get water in it, that means it's broken. You got to throw it away. So your $25 Vision 110 is now a bookmark. Um,
I didn't see anything that came from ICAST that might have been something ICAST last year that talked about not water having a water channel, not injecting, but having a water channel in it for uh to give it different actions how water passes through it rather than just giving it straight resistance.
so a little bit of hydrodynamics at play, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
big hydrodynamics.
and I don't get to say that word very often, so I appreciate for opening up that opportunity. But I mean, it's one of those deals, man. Like you don't have to make it complicated. I mean, obviously you can get overwhelmed, and that's most lures. But jerkbaits have been around so long. Like, man, you go get you some old school Rapalas. I think everybody should try like a Smithwick Rogue at some point. Smithwick Rogues
Bruh.
have been around for so long, and there's really nothing wrong with them. They still get bit.
Yep.
Um, you could find a couple, get you a small one, a few small ones, a few big ones, and they just kind of let her have it. I mean, when you get on a good, like consistent jerkbait bite, it's one of those things, like it's fun. Like it's just fun. Like you
It's a
just sitting
fun bite.
there hitting a cool little cadence and you're out there, like you're not sitting there just dragging a jig, you're sitting there, you're putting some effort into it, man. You get a little cardio in, and then they smack it, and it's like, all right, cool. And normally you don't feel it because they'll hit it when it's paused. So you'll either see your line jump and feel nothing, and you're like, oh damn, what was that? Or as soon as you go to pop it, it's just heavy.
Yeah.
Um, it's a very unique sensation. Let's put it that way.
I think I saw somebody ask us about like a jointed one at one point too, right?
Yes, there was a jointed one in the cold. Is that what I saw? Jointed jerks in winter. Old dude, yeah, longer or jointed jerks in the winter.
Oh man, I'm going to say traditional on just the standard long jerk bait, but if I'm fishing a river or any kind of moving water, I would use the jointed. Yeah, I would use the jointed. So what else you got tied on for these last two seasons or these last 2 months, T?
Last two seasons. What the
Oh,
hell? Are we
sorry, no, no,
retiring?
not that, no, 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 not
Oh
these two
shit!
seasons.
Hang this
This,
stuff up.
these last 2 months, what has been always on the rod, and what have you been snipping off of it more than usual?
Oh, Tylenol.
Facts.
No, it's one. Yeah, it's one of those things. I think, cold weather is horrible. I mean, so you just, I mean, I can't go slow. Um, everybody's talking about like you gotta, no, you gotta go slow. I mean, it's also big swim bait season. Um,
if
I
you got
haven't got a
really good
chance to
water,
do it yet,
if you
but I
got
mean, it's
really good water, it
definitely.
is, but that's painful, dude. I'm telling you, those fish are sitting on the bottom and they just don't want to move.
I mean, I just like me for real. I mean, I get it. Um, it's uh, yeah, I don't it's one of those things you're not really gonna. I mean, it's a really good time to go tune some crankbaits too, if you got some fresh ones to go make sure they're running straight. um but like it's all about, like different bodies of water, they're staging, they're some of them are ready to move up a lot sooner than the other ones, right? So
Yep.
it's a really good time of year to get used to finding contours and sticking to contours, and throwing to things you can't see. Like, this time of year sells electronics is what I'm trying to say. Like, this is when like you're at the boat ramp and you're seeing the dude with four screens up front, and you're like, how'd
And
you do? And they're like, oh man, I should have wore my back brace because I've been hauling them in all day. And it's like, I'm not talking about cinder blocks you snagged at the construction site, dog. I'm talking about the fish. It's
oh
one of those
man,
type of deals. Like, this time of year is selling electronics,
yeah.
or it's giving you that opportunity to get some confidence in even just reading, like, a 2D sonar. I mean, I still have topo maps because I'm old school. Finding some of those contours and getting used to it. I mean, that's information. Even if you're not catching, that's information you could use.
Use, yeah, facts,
That'll come
facts.
back and be valuable. So don't even think you're wasting your time. Just because you're not hauling them in doesn't mean you're not taking mental notes. Especially if you're doing competitions, if you're trying to scope out some new places, or if you're just trying, I mean, if you're just trying to go somewhere to get a bite, then, stick to what you know.
No,
So throw, I
yeah,
mean, I got stuff in the box that I just know, like, even if I don't want to throw it, I'm still going to have it because I can utilize it and not feel like I have to also think about what I'm doing. So it kind of eliminates how much stuff do you really want to be analyzing at one point. So I'll throw in some just old standard stuff, just a basic, like a compact spinnerbait or something that to go slow. I mean, you can't really fish it wrong. I mean, obviously, it doesn't mean they're going to want it, but if you got something, that you're just comfortable with, and you can spend more time looking around and taking in some data than worrying about what's going on at the end of the line. I mean, you're still using your time in a valuable way, I'd say.
agreed, agreed. Yeah, I'm. I thought I really do like the using electronics because even though I didn't catch anything when I was out there last time, I found where the ditch was and I followed that ditch and all I saw was fish. So yeah, I didn't pull them out of the ditch, but I definitely watched them live in it. So I
Son of a
learned.
ditch. Yeah, yeah.
So, yep, definitely learned. That sucks.
That's the thing. Competition wise,
Uh oh.
what do you got coming up? Because I'm not in any trails or anything like that. So are you already preparing for some of the early season stuff?
Yeah, there's been a lot of the schedules are out for all the majors. This past weekend there was the first Bassmaster tournament of the year out in Arizona at Havasu or Arizona. Yeah, it's out. Yeah, it's Arizona. It's close to California, but like Havasu, a guy from Ohio wins it.
You mean
the
Drew Gregory won it? Drew
yes,
Gregory
yes, sir.
of Crescent? Is it Crescent Kayaks?
Yeah,
Yes.
Crescent Kayaks. I mean, the man, the legend, not a myth yet, but that man, he does not. He likes fishing. He won that one. That was really good. So he's going back to shoot. This will be like I think he's been to every Bassmaster kayak classic that they've had. He's won. Oh, damn, did he win two? No, he won Angler of the Year and he won one. So yeah, that man's a winner. Nonetheless, yeah, schedules up for Bassmaster. A lot of the national tournaments are pretty much kaput. Hobie ended this year. They're not going to be doing a national tournament. KBF won't be doing a national or regional slash like in person events. So Bass has full national bass tournament like clout right now. So that's the only way to run it. There's a couple. I think there's an All American kayak tournament thing that's happening somewhere in the Midwest and on the East Coast. I mean, just our local tournaments. And oh, Drew Gregory has a tournament series now. So right now, the way my season's looking, I'm probably going to try to do one local tournament, 1 to 2 local tournaments a month, and then I'm probably only going to do maybe 1 or 2 national events, air quote national. I'll be doing the one that's in Virginia North Carolina border, Drew Gregory's event, and that might be it. I maybe do a no limit native tournament, but that's it. That's all I had planned for this year.
You said that's all. Like you ain't about to put thousands of miles on the truck.
If I do, I don't think I'm gonna put 1,000 miles on a truck. I don't think I'm not going to be making a trip out to Gunnersville this year. So as for seen right now, so yeah, I don't think I'll be putting some miles on there.
What?
Yeah, it's gonna be a slow, methodical, focused. Try to really hone the craft year for me.
That'll change. I give it 3 weeks, and then there's gonna be like, well, this is going on, and if
Yeah,
Luke Master called me, and then I'm like,
yeah. Gene calls me. We gotta go. We gotta go run some
golly.
boat docks and run some dang dumpsters at the boat ramp to find out what lure's winning.
The
It's
big wigs at
inevitable,
Native are gonna call you, and they'll be like, we got to get you out on the
bro.
Delta
You already
with
know
Greg.
they ghosted me. They ain't calling. They ain't calling me.
Oh, damn. You went from Native to being like outcasted.
No, I don't think I'm
Dang.
outcast. I just think I think they don't see me. I don't think they
Dang.
see
All right. So you John Cena on the trip. Okay, got you. So that's hey, okay.
me.
So yeah, old dude. No, I mean there's a I mean I want to. I just don't like time and availability. I got kids to feed and I got a mentally strenuous full-time job and I ain't getting famous on any social media platform anytime soon. At least not one I can talk about on here freely. So I mean, there's some opportunities. I know, the kayak thing, I want to get the boat out more. There's a resurgence in John boats because people don't want to drop 80,000 for a glitter boat, clearly, because they can't. So John boats are
Facts.
coming back. People are buying aluminum boats and going and doing these like smaller things. So there's a few of those that I'm looking into. There's a couple like weekly series things around here. So I don't have like a specific schedule. I mean, but I think like going to new places, checking out new stuff, exploring. Because this part of the country, I mean, if anything, and you and I might take it for granted, but we got a lot of options. You know what I mean? Like
What?
we can go to a lot of different places pretty quickly and like really get mad at more than one place. Like I'm real
Yeah.
pissed I can't catch them here. Let me go to a new spot, and then
Yep.
now I'm just pissed I'm
Facts.
here. So I'm pissed in a new environment. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
you're not
it's a
wrong.
great thing.
You're not wrong. It is. We are definitely blessed with the availability of natural resources. Very, very close to one another. Very close.
It's a thing. I mean, even saltwater. Like if you just get tired of dealing with all when the pickerel just keep piling up, it's like no, like let me get out here and get some flounder and try to figure out what they doing with this
Yeah.
tip right here. And I don't know if y'all ever seen underwater footage of a flounder hunting, but the shit is hilarious.
Speaking of a pickerel, I actually caught my PB. I want to say before New Year's, I caught my PB, and I've
Dang.
seen it probably like 4 pounds. I think I did. It was 3 point. Dang, it was like 3 pounds and 12 ounces. Nonetheless,
No,
it, bruh, watching it on live scope is probably the coolest thing. They move like snakes.
it's ridiculous.
Dude. And it was on a jerk bait. Going back to what we were talking about, it was on a jerk bait because
I believe it.
I had this thing. It just literally kept waving like under the jerk bait, kept waving, and then I went to another spot and I threw back to where I originally saw it at. As soon as I killed it, I tried to pull one more time and just said zzz. I was like, "What the heck?" And then I look on live scope, the thing just going like just waving like a worm. I'm a fan. I don't like taking them off the hook, but
Yay.
I'm a fan. That was a fun fish
Yo.
to fight. That was
A
fun.
three, but that was probably yeah. No, that's fun. I mean, I get it, right? They're not. I mean, for some reason, they got a bad rap. I mean, you know, they bite your line off and
Yeah.
they steal lures. So I get it why they got a bad rap, and they're not really invasive. I mean, they smell like forklift grease, so they're not that fun to deal with. But like, if
Yes.
you can get past some of the sensory issues, I mean, they fight.
That's a
I
fun
mean, like
fish.
them and bowfin, like you
Oh,
know,
bowfin bar for bar. The problem with bowfin that I have is that they won't take your bait. More so, they will destroy it till it's unusable. That's the
it's like
only problem.
ooh. No, you
That
want to, yeah, it's no, it's crazy, man. You get, you know, I had a bowfin bite a wacky worm, and I'm using like a finesse hook.
yep.
So I pull back on it, and it's resistance, but it's not fighting. And as
Right.
it comes up, you see its head come out the water, like that somebody just reverse flush a turd. And I'm
Yep.
like, yo, what is that going on? And I'm sitting there
Mhm.
like, there ain't no way that hook's
That's-
going through that dude's mouth. So I'm sitting there just, I'm jiggling and waiting for it to come off because I'm like, I got nothing. I'm sitting here
yeah.
pre-fishing, trying to like shake his ass off because there ain't no
Yeah.
way. Like
No.
I'm sitting here
No.
with
He
like 8
holding
pound
on.
test.
They holding on
Nah,
for dear
so
life.
it's a thing, man. But if they hit a crankbait right before they rip the lip off of it, man, you're gonna be like, oh hell, what's going on? It's one of those type of things.
Yep. Yeah. The bowfin are fun. Bowfin are fun. They don't they get a bad rep for being just like a trash fish, but they are actually really fun. Throwing frogs near bowfin, throwing buzz baits over bowfin, throwing spinner baits on. Don't throw a chatterbait on a bowfin because you will, especially a non-expensive one. Jigs and bowfin is fun, but yeah, bowfin are fun. I definitely enjoyed that one.
That's the thing. The pickerel, yeah, no, everybody, you know, I mean, we'll focus on stuff. Don't get me wrong, but like, it's a good thing for anybody that's really trying to get skills. Like, if you're not a purist on any one thing, like, definitely go multi-species. You know, try some
Facts.
new things. Um, you know, certain plastics like a curl tail grub on a jig head will catch anything that swims. You know, just you know, basic stuff like that. Like, really go out. Like, if you don't have a good ultralight or a BFS setup, that's just fun, right? You're not impressing anybody at the boat ramp, but it's not about that, and that's why I carry the blicky. The point being is, if you're going out and you just really want to enjoy your time, um, if anything, go out get some multi-species going. Like just get you a beetle spin. Um, you know, don't overthink it. Find you some activity on the water. I mean, it's just one of those things. You're going to learn. Again, you're going to learn a lot. Um, if you got the electronics, of course, that's always going to be a good idea so you can kind of see what's doing what. And when you catch it, you can probably, and I can't speak to this, maybe you can, but like maybe, you know, you're first starting to learn like certain types of live sonar stuff and you don't know what those dots are. So you just throw like a robo worm or something out there and it comes up and you can start to learn what like a school of crappie looks like versus a
Oh
school of
yeah,
greenfish.
that's how I went out. My first time going out with live scope, I went out with my BFS crappie stuff, and then I went out. It was that, and then what else was it? It was a jig because I. This is all watching how Jeremy fishes when he has live scope. So it was my crappie stuff, a drop shot, a jig, and a 3-inch minnow. And
There
I
you go.
just that's I had to figure out what I was looking at. So if the if there was a group that kind of looked like crappie, I would throw the crappie stuff, keep it above them, watch them move, pull up, it's a crappie. Okay, and then slowly but surely you start getting you'll figure out based off of how they're stacked up, how they are situated on the on cover and their movement, what you're dealing with real fast. If you keep throwing to them, you'll figure it out real fast.
That's right. It's a thing. So I mean, you out here learning. So you know, you're hanging out with Wolfram. talking about, hey man, you ready to go get some BFX, some big fish strategies? And he's like, hell yeah, we ready to roll out right now. We got graphite, we got carbon fiber, we got fiberglass. What you need, I got it. And you out here, it's one of those types of things. I mean, they're just selling stuff for real, for real. But the point being is, I mean, somebody's got to be buying this 2 pound test out here because it's just sitting on the shelf.
Raise hand. That would be me. 2 pound and 4 pound for that BFSB.
If you
Be
got
getting
if you
bought.
got heart issues, like if you have a cardiologist, you should not be fishing 2 pound tests
I caught
because
an
that's
eight
gonna run
pounder.
you.
I caught an eight
No,
pounder on 5 pound, dog. I caught an 8 pounder on 5 pound test. An eight
no,
pound 3 ouncer. She came up with the greatest of well, I can't say the greatest of She came up with the gracefulness of a 2 pound fish until she got to the surface, and it was too late. The net got her.
that's when you need the titanium nanofiber.
You need
You know
that
what I mean?
titanium nanofiber. That sounded like something that was in a sci-fi
That's the
movie.
new
Well, from
that's the new internet connection. That's the new
yeah,
FiOS right there.
that's the
Verizon's
big
coming out with
fiber.
the titanium nanofiber.
Nanofiber.
And that
Son.
ain't available in anybody's neighborhood. No, because I got my 6 on that 4 pound mono. And you just kind of give up, right?
Yeah,
Like you just don't.
yeah. You just
It's
accept everything before and after. Like, man, I might lose this fish, but man, I'm holding on. I'm doing pretty good.
start, you start thinking about all the cuss words you're gonna use if things don't
Yeah,
go
here you
well.
go. If it don't work, it's like
The whole
am I?
time it's like, all right, man, let's go ahead. Somebody hit a clock. We just go ahead and start, start talking to chat. I mean, it's
Oh
one of
man,
that. I mean, like I think it makes sense for those that are getting into the game and are trying to really feel it out and don't want to just copy what your favorite YouTuber's doing. Go run you some light line, trust your drag, and just like learn.
definitely
Learn from
grow.
mistakes. Um, like
Beetle
you know,
spins and grubs.
you be watching all the folks that are like you watching the pros just like boat flip them all day. That's not real. Like to most people, that's not most people's existence. I mean, that's what they're doing because that's their paycheck.
Whoever said that man's not real.
It's not. It's fake. Like it's just
Oh,
that is a figment of your imagination, dog. Like I'm just saying, like you can go out, get you a flippy flappy fiberglass rod, and just sit there and Richard Gene them all, woo, and just really just rip them
legend.
all day.
That's a
And
legend.
it is what it is, and you'll enjoy it. And life's too short to be walking around talking about 80-pound braid to 30-pound Japanese fluorocarbon leaders. With some, it's just not. I mean, I get it. There's a time and a place, but it probably ain't where you're at, and it probably ain't on your watch. So I mean, just keep it realistic. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. You don't need to put. There's no award for spending the most money at the tackle shop. I'd have won it by now, but I'm just saying in general, it's not. It's you get that fake kind of dopamine rush from hitting checkout, and then the stuff shows up, and then it's like, all right, now what?
Check out. Now you looking for instructional videos on the back of the bait.
No, because I mean, I think it doesn't have to be so. And this is something I'll harp on forever. But like right now, I want to go plan like a building baitcaster confidence video to put up on my YouTube to get cyberbullied on, and because there's a lot of like intro videos where somebody's like, here's how to learn a baitcaster,
Yep.
and here's the knob and here's the brakes, and I'll say, well, no, I mean that's cool to understand what's going on. There's nothing wrong with understanding the basics of like what the physics are and how the machinery works. But I'm not thinking about all that. When I'm out, we're just casting and reeling and repeating, and it's the practical side of things. And I haven't
Yeah.
found a good practical kind of like, here's something that you can do in your spare time and get better. So when it's time to get on the water, you're not just sitting there saying, "Oh, fuck this," and getting backlash.
Yeah,
So I've
you
got
sitting
to.
there.
Oh my
Pick
gosh,
this thing up
it's the thing. I mean, it's
and then
kind of
toss
funny.
up.
It's good content, but it wastes time. If I only get 5 hours a week to go out on the water, I don't want to spend,
Spend
15, 20, 30 minutes picking out line. I can play arts and crafts at home with the kids. So I got a couple practice things that I've been using and have used. I'm still using them. It's not like you just get perfect. It's you still need to brush up on things. So I've got a couple things. I'm going to put the chest mount on for the GoPro and show everybody ways to kind of get some of that confidence up pretty quickly without having to worry about busting up any reels or burning through your big game trilene, that kind of thing. So That's the thing. And dog balls,
Work.
he's talking about those federal backyard practices.
Oh, don't
Um,
you start talking about my man
I didn't.
in his 3 letters.
Hey, but I've been out in the backyard. We got so many squirrels around here. I was throwing a frog one day, and the squirrels were going after it. And I mean, I've already hooked a frog on a frog. I don't need a squirrel on a frog because that's just
Squirrel
not going to
on
be a
the
good look. I'm going
frog.
to be all over the Nextdoor app. Everybody's like, "What is this thing hanging out of this squirrel's mouth?" And
Who's
I'd be
feeding
like,
our squirrels plastic
"I don't
frogs and
know."
hooks?
My man bit it. I wasn't trying to catch him, but I'm just saying, if I feel a tug, I'm tugging back. You know what I mean? Like
Setting up on him, setting on him.
it's a thing. So,
Dodgeball
well,
said he's not AF'd.
I don't know. Well, again, what do you when somebody tells you they're not
AF'd.
something, that usually means that they are.
Yeah,
Like,
I think
you
it
know,
does mean angry as F.
it's all right. We're
AF'd.
not. Don't worry. He's just worried
Uh,
he's got to go back to the office soon because they're going to make it a mandatory thing by February 6th. Well, the point being is, yeah, I mean, there's certain things. I mean, definitely like this again, this time of year, maybe that's just our theme for today. As we're thawing out and trying to get, some
man,
blood circulation,
that should have been the dang title, man.
we can just start over. It's only 9:30.
No,
It's one of those deals like, you got
man.
to get um and Laserbeam just gave me a good idea as we were talking about it. Um 2 more days you get 25% off victory hooks for them jigs. Yeah, that's the thing. So you can get, like, if you're and we're going to have an episode about tackle crafting and making your own stuff where that's
Yes,
going to come up
please.
soon because that's the thing I think a lot of people will enjoy. Um but you can get like right now you can definitely, there's still sales going on post holidays. You can get some gear and start looking at making your own things nowadays. Some of the stuff that people are cranking out in their garages rivals, if not is better than the stuff you're buying at the big stores. You're supporting
That's
people
true.
that make stuff. A lot of people do custom work. You can get something if you've never seen a certain color before and you were like, man, it'd be nice to have this color. You can probably reach out to somebody on social media and they'll whip it up for you and they'll make content from it.
Yep.
um
Win-win.
it's one of those type of things. But I mean, that's all, like, that's why the trade shows are happening. I know the Raleigh had one. We had one up in Richmond. I think it was last week.
Richmond's, yeah, it was the week
Um,
right after ours. So yeah,
yeah,
Richmond show.
I sure shit didn't go because I
T-
was sitting here trying not to die
yeah,
from
Tennessee's was last week. I would want to
all
say.
of them.
Yep.
All of them. Everybody's
Shoot,
out.
California. Yeah, Blanchard just posted his
They
ISE
did their
stuff.
thing. Yeah, they had the whole
Yeah.
crew out there doing a
Yeah.
talk, and they gave away a kayak, all this kind of stuff, man.
Yeah.
All that. I mean, yeah. So you can get out and find something new, either something that's already made, or you can start making your own stuff. You can ask questions. You can ask us questions. You can watch the streamers doing what they're doing as they start to thaw out. All the northern boys are getting ready to get back out onto it. That'll be a fun time.
It is.
Um,
It is around that time.
like,
They're
if you
leaving
got
the
something you
ice.
really want to be a part of or something you want to learn, the next 4 to 6 weeks is absolutely going to be the time to be engaged. Um, it's a good feeling, right? Like, this
Yep.
is what we've been waiting for since like late October.
No, I've been waiting for this for like a month.
Remember what I say, that August can be pre-spawn if you're brave enough.
Okay, hold that, because we went fishing with we went fishing with D when he came down North Carolina, and the fish that we cut open, they had eggs in them. They were full of eggs.
What time of year?
He came in Thanksgiving. Yeah,
Are you sure that
Thanksgiving.
wasn't like? Are you sure it wasn't bladderstones?
Nah, man, they still had roe in them. I don't know if they were storing it, because remember we did have some weird hot days or what was happening, but yeah, you're not lying when you're saying that pass. Yeah, they can still go into another spawn mode, and when we saw that, it also triggered me to think about my fish in my little home pond, because during that full moon 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, my bluegills were going crazy. And it made sense because they were probably bedding. They were probably setting up their beds and dropping eggs.
Oh,
So yeah,
well. So
learned
how do you
something new this
feel?
year.
So how were you all able to sleep at night that you were taking out fish that were getting ready to lay eggs?
Oh man, that's easy. You just eat them. What? You just eat them. Yeah, fish got to get pulled out. Yeah, I understand that dog balls, but they had too many to be reabsorbed. It was almost like they were producing two drop. We should have took more pictures of it, but they were there. It was more than enough to reabsorb. There was way too many, way too many, way too many. Yep.
So you had caviar.
Yeah. D Money's dad definitely took those. Put him in a side bucket. He took those. Yeah, that's happening.
I ain't mad. Okay, that's the thing. Well, yeah, because I mean, we're used to like the main spawn, right? But certain
Yep.
species, spawn like catfish spawn pretty much the middle of damn summer.
Yep.
Yeah. So like you can and
Bluegill go
at any
crazy
time,
all time, and then I
at
mean
any
we're looking
time.
at Florida. Looking at Florida, I mean they spawn sometimes 3 times a year because of the warmth and how much
Child
sun it
support going
has.
crazy. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you ate the eggs. I didn't eat them. D Money's dad did. I did eat the. I know my crap. Well, it was a couple years back when I did my last catch and cook, not the previous one. But we had eggs. I ate those. Yes, they're very hard to scramble. You just fry them up,
Nah, man, you hit them in the ninja. It's just chop them,
just
chop them,
chop them
chop them.
down. Yeah.
Put them in a protein shake.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
Be out just fighting people for no reason. That's the thing. And I'll tell you, um, a lot of people, not a lot of, I'm just making shit up. I've seen people, they get really into when they see like the fingerlings start swimming around, like all the fry balls and the
Yeah.
fingerlings start doing their thing. Like that's a huge, like, oh guys, I already see it. Start switching up to the post spawn. And I've never like that's just the dudes and ladies that couldn't wait. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they were just waiting
In
to
and
make
out.
things happen, and they were spending too much time on social media. They just didn't know what to do with themselves. That's the evidence of that. You
Yeah.
probably by the time you start seeing the first fry balls and fingerlings going around, like that's when you really want to at least around here. I mean, I'm going to say the Mid Atlantic in general. That's when you're like, okay, now the majority of them, like that's when the middle of the bell curve is kind of sitting on the spawn type of situation. So you'll probably put the fire crawl down and start picking up the bubble gums and stuff like that, and just trying to piss them off.
Yeah.
Essentially, one of my favorite scenes from my life. I saw, it wasn't last year, I think it was the year before, but I saw like a fingerling or a fry ball that was hanging out with like a alligator snapping turtle.
Yeah.
So like the turtle was going around, but they were just like circling them.
Yep.
Because when you're hanging out with a snapping
Snapper.
turtle, ain't nobody
But
messing with you. Well,
there's
I will,
nothing. Yeah, there's
but
nothing coming
yeah,
around that snapping
it's their
turtle to try.
bodyguard.
Yeah,
I thought
that
that
is
was awesome. Like this is a
that's Mother
Disney movie
Nature.
in the making. Like it's like Finding Nemo. Like it's just all
Yep.
these little fish are just hanging out with the snapping turtle, and that's their homie because the snapping turtle don't want to eat them because
Nope.
he's gonna spend more calories trying to eat
So
one
eat.
than he will from getting it.
Fact. He rather just
So
use them as bait as something big comes around. But yeah,
no,
no.
he's luring them. It's a
Yeah.
mutual parasitic relationship. Like
Yep.
they pull it in, but he saves them, and then they grow up, and it's just like a lot of tension in high school. There's a lot of coming of age stories to be had. It's just it's
Yo,
a circle of
facts.
life. It's a circle of life. It's a great thing.
Yeah, it is really dope that Mother Nature always has a pretty cool story out there.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Dog
and
balls watching smallmouth with eels. Yeah, the smallmouth probably telling the eel the whole time, man, if you would a year before this, you would have been done. Too big now, but you would have been done.
dang, bro, it's like I ate your cousin back in '97. Like let's get this going.
How you really feel about that?
Golly, I see you at the reunion. All right, he came out rough too. He fought. Um, one of those type of deals. So, Darren Currency wants to know how much you guys think fish feel sonar.
Wait, what did you call? You said you called him Darren Kurtz. Oh, that was fire, Darren Currency.
Well, no, he does. He does send me. He sent me the juice. So any old name.
Oh, he got him. Yeah, them things is sharp good.
Any old name ain't gonna cut it. You know how it goes.
Those things are too good, man.
So okay. So do they feel sonar?
Oh hell yeah, those fish feel sonar.
Oh shit! I thought you were
Yeah,
going to say hell no. All right,
no,
never
they
mind.
feel it.
Switch it up.
Dude, they feel it. I've literally seen fish run away from my sonar. They feel that hands down. that it's not. It is. It's they're extremely sensitive. Um, Bigger fish, in my opinion, are more sensitive than smaller fish. That's why bigger fish during high pressure scenarios with weather, they move first. So they a lot. They feel it a lot. You even at the professional level, when they put sonar on a big fish, they're chasing that fish until it gets so pissed off that it pretty much bites anything near it. I would definitely say the feel of sonar, especially forward facing, is high on bigger fish, pressure wise. Little fish, I don't think they're smart enough to understand what that thing that's beeping on them is.
Damn.
Yeah, I agree, dog balls. The deeper water, but it also depends on what sonar you're using. With forward facing, you're pushing what like 1200 plus megahertz in a pulse pattern with less than a second of pulse time. Yeah, they're feeling
Oh,
that.
it's a
That's
damn
a whole
rave
bunch of
down
taps.
there.
Yeah, they're feeling like small taps on them.
I remember when I first got the Helix 7 on the tracker and we were plugging in after we installed everything and like the chirp sonar and like you plug it in and turn it on, you can
You
hear
can
it.
fear
You can
it.
hear it.
Yes, you can.
I was like, "Oh hell, what is?" Because
Yeah,
I'm thinking something's breaking. I'm like, "Is
breaking
there like?"
because you.
It's
Yeah,
like they hitting Morse code next door. What's going on? And I'm like, "That's coming from the damn transducer. You know they feeling something."
dude, that's funny because when I put mines up in the garage, I literally thought the person was in the other garage, like tapping. I'm like, what the heck is that? And then I finally unplugged it. I was like, oh, that's what they mean by chirp. That mega chirp is loud. Turning down
See,
our orb sensitivity gain, does that give off more or less feel, or is it just deeper or shallow water? On a, I mean, cold water. There's so much science. What we talk about hydrodynamics. There's so much science with hot and cold water and how sound can travel in it, man. I'm not. I'm not a phys. Ugh. Would it be a physicist? Yeah, it would. I'm not a physicist, but you can go and look at a whole bunch of different studies on it. But yeah, hot and cold water will be a little different in there.
well, I am a physicist. And I don't know what the hell's going on. So no, because I've wondered, and maybe it's obvious, but like if you're looking at like a screen, so if you've got your unit and you're adjusting things like the frequency or the
Hmm.
gain, I wonder if the transducer, and maybe it varies on models and what the technology is. I'm wondering if the transducer is constantly putting out pretty much everything. So when you're changing the sensitivities or the gain or whatever, is it only affecting the information that's coming through the screen, or is it also impacting directly the transducer itself? Therefore, the screen is only putting out what the transducer is putting out, or does it filter certain things? Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it's so when we're talking about gain, that's going to be visual, so that's going to be on the screen. Um, but what it's going to do in the transducer, in from what I understand, it's going to allow the transducer to not filter as much on the return, because when you're changing your gain and things like that, the clarity that you're getting back is what's absorbed on the image back, not what's absorbed on the image out. Your frequency is what the fish are feeling on your out.
Allegedly. So,
Yeah,
well, Dogwell's saying directly Deucer. I didn't know you worked for Hummingbird, Garmin, Lowrance, Simrad. I thought it was just the government, but okay. Gotcha. Yeah. No, well, so I mean the technology is going to be different in the different kind of I mean, sure, right? Like especially dudes that are running like 360 live and you're putting all kinds of shit in the water. I mean, it
yeah,
doesn't I mean, obviously they don't care. Like something that they can sense is just something they can sense. It doesn't matter
yeah,
what it is.
yep,
I like to say to me, not that anybody asked because I don't have forward facing sonar. I barely have rear facing sonar for that matter. But like the analogy, I think I read it somewhere, or maybe I just hallucinated it. But like if you've ever been out in public, like at the park or the beach, I say that because it happens here a lot. And there's a dude on like a beach cruiser that's got a Bluetooth speaker on and is
facts.
just
That's
bumping
yep.
music that you never asked to hear and they're just fucking like they're just letting some like straight 311 just bump and obviously you hear it get louder as the person's like getting ready to
Mm-hmm.
pedal past you. I think it's almost like if you're used to listening to the music they're playing, if anything, you're happy with it. It's not making you mad. But if you're not jiving with 311 because we need to investigate 311, it's one of those things where now you're annoyed. So now
Annoyed,
you
yep.
want to leave. So I think the fish are really just trying to they're basically trying to figure out if the song they're hearing is something that they can
It's
either just put in
valuable.
the background,
Yep.
or if it's just like, I cannot stand another fucking rendition of Amber. You know what I mean? Like they just
Yeah.
have to get it. I think it really depends on the fish, and not that that
Oh,
helps anybody, but
covers.
it's don't even start. I knew if there's anybody in this chat that was going to listen to 311, it was going to be that guy, which is why I chose it. So it's one of those kind of things. I mean, it's just one of those like, so yes, you will scare probably some fish some of the time. It's almost a guarantee.
Yep.
All of them, no. But like especially old, like if you're talking like big old fish, I don't feel like they're that much different than like, with people. Our senses suck after time. Like you'll lose hearing,
Facts.
your
I like
vision will
that.
suck.
Yeah.
So like bigger fish, especially if they're like King Kong on the scene, you know what I mean? Like they're the biggest fish in the neighborhood. They probably don't care. So like if you're hog hunting, it's probably not going to matter. But if you're trying to catch a limit, you probably want to put that into consideration. So it's one of
Yeah.
those, just don't. All I'm saying is if you're bumping Bluetooth in public, you might lose a tooth. You know what I mean?
Sonar how they talk to whales and dolphins. Uh no. Sonar is how they navigate. But yeah, the whales and dolphins use their own type of communication, I would say. Similar to like how bats are. I guess it is. It is sonar because you're sending sound waves underwater. There you go. Yeah, it's sonar.
It's all about the reflections. It's not
Yeah.
about what goes out. It's about what comes back.
So I'm curious because the lake I fish only 10 feet deep, so I don't see a lot of big fish on the screen ice fishing, but I'm curious if I can keep big fish on screen using forward mode fishing from further away. Yeah, I mean some fish don't even know, some of the big fish don't even know what it is. So you have to put that in consideration too. If it's a going back to T's description, if it's a old big fish and you're playing something that they have no idea, or it's in another language because they don't have any idea what it is, it'll still hit them and they'll just sit in it. They wouldn't know that they are annoyed or they like it. They'll just be indifferent. So the fish that I know that I see that run away from it, they're big. They're big fish, and I'm pretty sure they've been caught with me or somebody else looking at them. Yeah,
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 that
agreed.
sound travels so much further and better in water just because it's so much denser than air. Um, I mean, they're probably hearing. I think it's like a Mitch Hedberg quote. Those that know who Mitch Hedberg is, R.I.P. Like the ocean has to be loud as shit. Is I think he said because there's just so much noises, and you can hear so much stuff. Like I mean, obviously, your local pond isn't really the ocean. But I
But
mean, there's probably just so much stuff
yeah,
constantly going
like
on.
if lawnmowers going through, they're going to feel that. People walking, running, airplanes going over and causing wind, waves. Yeah, they get a lot of stimuli stimuli in that water.
And I mean, you'll get accustomed to it. Like if you
Yep.
live near train tracks and you grow up near train tracks, the train track sound isn't going to bother you. Like,
Yep.
I'm here and there's like a major naval air base, that's like literally not even that far. So I'm talking like I grew up hearing like fighter jets
Yep.
taking
Mhm.
off and
Oh
like landing
my
all the
gosh,
time.
it
So like
is.
jet noise, I just tune it out. I've always heard it, so I don't think anything's wrong. But like I'll be streaming or something like that, and we'll have jets go over, and obviously somebody in chat's like, "Oh, we're at war." Like they're thinking they're hearing fucking jets, and there's something going on. I'm like, brother, it's Tuesday. Like that's normal.
That's
That's just
normal.
something to
It's
expect.
some normal flight drills.
So that's kind of, I feel like, they're going to get acclimated to that kind of stuff. So, I mean, they're going to be aware of it, but I mean, it's, especially bigger bodies of water. Man, you're talking like Lake St. Clair is up there with Darren. It's like, that's a big ass body of water. So
Water.
some of those fish, like you might see different fish all day long. Whereas like, I catch the same fish twice in 2 months and like, hey man, what you been up to? Like they got names and shit. It's a different story than, a big old like huge thing. So you know what I'm talking. It's one of those type of deals where, man, you could take the same boat with the same electronics, drop it in 4 different bodies of water, and see 4 different ways they respond to it.
In fact, I always wonder. Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier. I was talking about the BS myths of fishing. That was probably one of my bigger ones. All right, so it's what 9:50. So we're rounding out. You guys, this is normally time we throw out for questions. Talk about things for the next episode. What you guys want to talk about, hear about, and we'll figure stuff out. So I guess we'll open the floor up for what, like 3 minutes. YouTube, Twitch. If you guys had any questions, or what would you like to see in the next episode, let us know. We can have a pretty good run at it.
And if we can stay healthy and out of uh Marvel Rivals grunge matches,
Yeah, man, that
we
got
might
me
be
locked
able
in.
to do something here in the next couple weeks. So February is going to be a huge time of year for a lot of us. Probably watching as the northern boys start to thaw out and the southern boys start to thaw out because it snowed. Um, there's going to be a really good opportunity to again, like if you got something in your box that's collecting dust and you're like, I don't know when I'm going to use this, do it now. Go ahead, just tie
Yeah,
it on,
that's time.
take it out with you.
I'm probably gonna tie on a gold crankbait for tomorrow.
Yeah, be playing hooky. Look at you, it's like, nah, I'm going to go ahead and just.
Be hooky. I already called out. Y'all just be here, please, for us that can't get out anymore. We got you. Sleeper crawl for me. Yeah, sleeper crawl's good. I had really good luck. No, I had on the sleeper gill. I had really good luck on sleeper gill, but I have not thrown that big old sleeper crawl. Let's not wish away the ice yet. No, I'm big wishing away the ice. No ice here.
We don't need it here. I mean, y'all are used to it, but like all of our spots, like I was saying earlier, like this past Sunday, I went out on just like places, bodies of water I've never seen any ice on were completely iced over.
Yeah,
Um, and it's just, I mean, I get it, but like I'm hurting inside, you know what I mean? Because it's not thick enough to go play hockey, and you definitely ain't fishing. So it's like, fuck, am I gonna do? Like, just look at it.
yep.
It's just, if they're filming a made for Hallmark Channel movie and they need a dramatic background, I got you Monday through Sunday. But
But
if I'm trying
I
to
can't
dial in
fish on
some
it.
some square bills, dog, it's hurting. I ain't got time for it, and you
I
can't
can't
carry a
put no
flamethrower
baits in
around.
there.
So it's like, man, come on now. It's one of those type of deals.
After watching Greg, yeah, Greg did the 4 day camp and fish, man. No bueno. Hopefully, I mean, he had fun. Like it's wide open. Yeah, no. On his skim ice. Yeah.
No, y'all see me. When I was out there a couple weeks ago. I was throwing a bladed jig on the ice mats. See if they gonna come up after it and have the fish come up and hit their head like a bird flying into the window. That'd have been awesome. You know how cool it would be if you were just dragging a lure across the ice and a
Ice
fish came up, busted the ice and grabbed the lure? Do you understand how cool that would be?
that that that'll create virality. That's an instant. Everybody has to say, man, now I'm about to go outside and go do it.
And like capture it too, right? Like I mean,
Yeah,
like
and
I'm
have it
talking like
captured. Yep.
streaming it and have it happen and like be able to prove it, right? Like go and brag on all the Facebook groups you got and just like absolutely slamming people down. Like I don't care what you did. Check this out. I got this footage. Like I would be so ignorant. I'd be the ignorant is dude. If I got footage through
Oh
the
yeah,
ice,
through the ice eat. Yeah, that would be stupid.
yo, I'm the most ignorant dude at the Bass
Can't
Pro
tell me
already.
nothing. So y'all seen that video of that dude online who caught that fish out of the ice? Y'all saw that?
I'll be
Yeah,
putting
yeah.
that shit on my resume, dog. I'm telling you.
I'm him. I'm the ice catch fish guy. Would have
Freaking
been
icebreakers out
they
here,
when
dog.
they saw they got snow. Yeah, yeah. Tech actually went out there and was busting up the snow. I mean, busting up ice to get the kayak out, and then while he
It's
was out
so
there hitting
fucking
ice,
loud. Have you
yeah.
busted ice on your yak? Yeah, you were
No,
doing it this past.
no,
You didn't do it?
no. I can't say never. I did a little bit of it on a home pond, but it was nothing to the point
Oh,
where it was a deterrent of me getting on the water. It was just a small little like tick tick. All right, I'm on the ice, and I just rolled right through it. I didn't have like what Tech was doing. He was like actually hitting it, moving it, breaking it.
Oh,
No,
that's what I
no,
was doing.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
no,
so loud. I think
yeah,
it's because I've done it on the boat before, but you're kind of standing up. But
yeah,
like when you're sitting right on the water, obviously with a kayak or whatever,
yeah.
it's so loud. It sounds like, when you're eating potato chips and you hold your ears shut. I don't know why
Yeah,
you do that, but it's just so loud in your head. It's
sitting
that
in the
whole
bed.
feeling, but it's like it's everywhere. I mean, it's a pretty disorienting. Like I'm just thinking like I said on stream, feel like you're the Titanic. You know what I mean? Like I'm
Yeah,
closing my eyes. Celine Dion's hitting some high notes and shit. I'm just in there just breaking shit. It's a really weird feeling. You can't really replicate it. I mean, you can take some, yeah. So I won't say what I'm thinking, but you know how it goes. It's a
yeah,
crazy thing.
most definitely.
It's one of
Are
those
we?
kind. Yeah, LB, we're gonna be doing tackle craft. Probably not the next one, but probably like as we get into like March. So we should invite LB.
Yeah,
Um, that'll be tight so we can talk about some tackles. So if anybody, and we'll get some later, but especially if you're in the Discord, so we got the official Discord.
oh yeah, we do.
um we could probably get that put in the chat so if folks want to join in, and we'll probably see if anybody has a specific kind of
Oh,
lure
we
they're
about to
either
do
trying
it.
to replicate or create.
If I start touching Discord, I'm gonna mess up your screen.
I mean, it's all good. um yeah, we ain't got the we gotta get the
Yeah,
all the tech. Hey,
see,
oh,
I
I'm
messed
over
up.
here.
Yeah,
Oh, hey, it's one of them. I wish. No, I was. Yeah, I'm out there cracking. I'm cracking ice. We got turtles. I'm waking up turtles out of hibernation, talking about what the hell's going on. They're up there
yeah.
just like, bruh, I had 2 more months to go. What's going on? And I'm
Turtles
just
coming
like,
out of the water while it's
they coming
38
up looking
degrees is
drowsy, man.
weird.
They got like conjunctivitis on their eyes because they thought
It's
they was
so
locked
weird.
in.
It's so weird seeing them in 38 degrees coming out the water.
Oh my! And you can like hear their necks turning. When they do like the neck thing, you can hear like the skin flaps creaking like a door trying to open.
They look so miserable.
It's like I feel bad. I'm like man, you want to go sit in the truck and warm up? Like, what's going on? How you doing? My bad. Like, I don't.
You want to go to try? It's like it's not
I'm not
turtle
trying to
time
beef
now.
with them.
It's
It's not
not
a thing.
turtle
It's all
time.
right. See, I watched a lot of Mutant Ninja Turtles growing up. I'm thinking turtles eat pizza, so I'm out there trying to like get some like stuffed crust to the homies, and they're just not feeling it.
No, no, they don't want that stuff, crust. They're not from New York.
It
They didn't get
it
hit with
plugs
the
them up.
ooze. They didn't get hit
Oh
with the
hell
ooze
no!
in the New York sewers. That's why they don't like the pizza.
It ain't like me. I just ate like 4-day old reheat pizza earlier. My stomach is hurting. But hey, it's all
Trying
right.
to churn, got that pizza churning.
I got that Pepto Bismol. You know how it goes.
Oh
Um,
no,
I don't know if the people got any specifics other than what
don't
we've
look like it.
discussed so far. I think it's one of those things we got to figure out when we're probably going to try and go live next. So today's the 29th. We'll be
Yeah,
talking Valentine's Day tactics on the 12th, maybe.
yeah,
Um,
I'm down.
is the Wednesdays working for folks? Let's ask the folks. Like, is the Wednesday nights like is this all right? I mean, we're trying not to compete with the folks on the like Fridays and the weekends. We're actually trying to get out and do things.
Facts.
So it's not like I mean, it's one of those kind of things. We're trying to work with what we got. I've been up since like 4:30 this morning, so I'm hurting. But again,
I'm sorry, T man. Thank you, for
no,
surviving this long.
it's worth it, man. I'm here by the grace of KVD and a little bit of extra caffeine. Um, LB's talking about fall fishing.
Yeah, we're not even there
Uh,
yet. Chill out.
brother, we got to get through January. You talking about fall?
Yeah,
Um,
Wednesday seems fine. We'll if anything changes and we see anything different, we'll swap it out. But I think Wednesdays will hold tight.
so we're going to. So we're still getting the technical stuff figured out. Probably get some more graphics put together, and we'll do all of that. One of the things that I had mentioned previously, and we're still going to focus on, at least I'm going to, is to get some like dedicated clips,
Oh
some
yeah,
like little mini seminars or some little how-to videos that we'll introduce during the broadcast, but we'll probably throw the video links up on Discord or in chat during the discussion. So if somebody wants to go check out some stuff at your leisure, so if there are any requests at any point for either a specific technique or managing something on the water, as far as like
Yeah,
let's say you
you're
want to
right.
get a a trolling motor on your kayak and you're trying to figure something out. I mean, I don't have one, but I'm pretty sure Alex could show us plenty of stuff and can kind of like give the quick and dirty, here's how to make this work. And he's the official seminar instructor as well, so we might as well just use the
OG
resume while he's
motor.
got it.
Yeah, motor
um
gal going. Lawrence and hover strolling.
so
I got you. That's easy. That's a easy sit down topic. But
here you
yeah.
go, all that kind of stuff. So we're here. Like, I mean, we can talk shit all day long. Don't mean anybody's getting anything from it. So feel free to put some ideas in our heads, um, and kind of get some of the knowledge put into the world. Um, I mean, there's different things. I mean, the mentality is, at least for me, I don't know everything, but I'll tell you everything I know. And if you give me that credit card information, I'll find some new shit out. I'm just saying, if you want to play it, I'll get the jerseys. You know what I mean?
Yep. So yeah, and if there are any things that you guys would like to see, I see Wolfram posting it, D Money posting it. Go into the Discord. I'll create another channel for tips you guys would like to see, things that oh hold on. Let's not do tips you guys would like to see.
Oh hell!
Yeah, that's not gonna be a name. We'll figure out
I
a
had a
name.
I had an HR meeting on that once. Anyways,
I don't know, not to flip your kayak. Yo, listen, that was that code was getting busted. You're fine. Um we'll figure out we'll make a Discord channel and then we'll do some how-tos and things like that. Because I mean inevitably a lot of this media is going to go on other platforms too, so might as well just make it and give it out uh now before I have to start charging y'all for it. I'm joking.
I'm not.
Um, yeah. So on that note, we are at 10 o'clock. T, you got anything left for the people?
Um. Uh. I don't know. I'm trying to get out. This weekend, I'm trying to get back into some stuff. Trying to get out on a boat. So I got some new stuff I'm bringing to the live game. That I'm excited for y'all to check out some new things. But at the same time, um, we really got to hone in. If anything, if y'all take away any message from tonight's broadcast, I think it could be like, try not to overthink a lot of what you're doing when you're out there, because all it's going to do is distracting you from being able to receive the information that's available to you.
Facts.
And in a world that's full of immediate gratification, empty promises, and 311 greatest hits, you got to make sure you're honing in on the stuff that's actually going to help you make decisions when you're trying to figure things out. And you're not going to find that on a TikTok reel. You're not going to find that on a YouTube video. You might find it on a Hooksets or free broadcast, but you really just got to put it together in a way that gives you that opportunity to go home and be like, I can't wait to get out next week because I got some stuff I want to do. Nothing, you're not going to find any influencer or content creator that's going to do that for you. You're going to find it yourself.
Self. Yep. Facts.
And
I
that's the
like
thing.
that. I like that. That's a really good way to close it out. All right, that was good. Definitely time on the water. Simplify the craft. Have fun. Go back out again and do it again. I like that. I
That's
like
the
that.
thing. And good luck to Julian, who's going out on Norman on Saturday for the first time using forward facing sonar. He's going to find out if Randy's right about it. There, hey, okay, yeah. So he's going to be out there spotlighting him. It is what it is. You do.
Yeah,
I mean,
if you're on Norman, I'm sorry to tell you, make sure you got your depth set to about 50. They're super deep right now. In the morning, you can catch them shallow. Oh wait, are you even allowed to get information? I'm shutting up. But yeah, there's
I've
videos
never
out.
been there, but let me tell you about where to go. Yeah, so you'll be all right.
Yeah, no, you'll be fine. They're those spots are stupid. You just got to find them. I'll be out tomorrow if you guys are interested. Same channel, and yeah, that's really it, man. Y'all be safe, have fun. It's cold out. Make sure you got some type of safe game plan. Let somebody know if you're out near water. And yeah, I'll see y'all in 2 weeks, right before Valentine's Day. Uh-oh. What you showing them? You got your monkey gloves on. Hey! Get it, T. Get it, T.
I'm not a fan for pronouns, but old Michael Jackson would have went by hee hee.
Later, everybody. That was good. Oh, that was funny.